This is The Art of Talking, and you're here with
Caoimhe, Shannon,
and myself, Shauna. We shout out to our lovely technician, Chris Kelly.
Woohoo!
So this is our very, very first podcast. You're all welcome. How are we feeling, guys? Are we nervous? Are we excited?
Excited and nervous. I'm more excited,
Yeah, more excited than nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? I'm really excited too, because finally we get to have discussions and we're getting to work together again and talk about, the arts. And especially with everything going on at the moment in this lovely little pandemic we're living in, it's no secret that it's really been hit hard. So it's great just to talk about it, get any stress, any anxiety that we're feeling, and just lay it out all there, and also have other interesting conversations. It's not all going to be doom and gloom, so don't worry. But for today, it's just going to be talking about ourselves, which won't be too hard. Hey. And just talking about our podcast and letting you guys know what we're about and who we are. And then we're going to move on and talk about the arts sector. We've got a couple of different topics there that we hope that you'll find interesting. And then there's going to be a few wee questions that we'll be answering that people asked us on our Instagram page. And then finally, we're going to talk about basically this podcast and what we hoped to get from it and what we hope to achieve in the future, really. So, yeah, Caoimhe, I think I'll let you start off by telling the people who you are and what you're all about.
So I'm Caoimhe, and well, I kind of speak for us all here, but we're all graduates. We just graduated there, class of 2020 or class of COVID.
Class of COVID.
From drama at McGee. I kind of got into drama because I wanted to act. I didn't see myself doing anything else, but then when I started the course, I really loved technical theatre, stage managing, directing and writing, and kind of found a path through that. So in the last 2 years, I've been working as a theatre technician in the Playhouse, and I've been working with Sole Purpose Productions as well as the stage manager. I just really love doing what I do, and I'm really happy I've kind of found this path kind of that I never see myself going on at all in a million years.
Yeah, definitely growing throughout the 3 years. I think we all have.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't got taller, but I've grown as a person.
What about you, Shannon?
Well, like Caoimhe, whenever I, applied to do my degree in drama, it's because I always loved to perform. Since a young age, really, since school, I've always loved to perform. But it was just really being creative in general. Apart from performing and being on stage, I love painting. Over lockdown, I did so much watercolor paintings, and I have no place to put them all. They're just scattered around the house. But yeah, just being creative in general, and I'm so excited that we're doing this because obviously during this time we don't have a lot of opportunities to do the work that we want to do. So it's good to stay creative and be creative and talk about the arts and still be involved in the arts and support the arts,
100%.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same for me, really. I think over the 3 years, I really realized that how much I love drama, which has always been there. But more so, I've found out how much I like to teach. I love to work with young kids, and it's just doing a drama degree. Everyone has this expectation or think that it's only about acting and performing. It's really, really not. There's so many different avenues that it can lead down to, and hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be doing my PGC next year. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So, but that's really it. It's a bit of a bummer though. I think this year we all had so many plans, so many things to do.
Yeah.
I was gonna take out and work, and also hopefully get work within the industry just to get that wee bit of experience. But obviously, COVID happened, and that
put a stopper and everything.
The universal.
Yep. Yeah, legit. Yeah. So which is such a bummer, because like this year I personally want to travel as well, go to different countries, because I love meeting new people, working with different people from different cultures. It's just a real passion of mine that I found out through university again. Shout out to Ulster McGee. Yeah, but that's really it. I think it's crazy though. Like I feel like we've learned so much about the arts, and like each of us have done the same degree, but we have different topics that are important to us, you know.
Did the same degree, but yet we've all went down these different avenues of this industry, and I feel like the degree really, broadened our minds on, what was possible within drama, within the arts. Do you know what I mean? Like for myself, like I didn't really know about like performance and conflict transformation, and that performance could be used as like a mode of therapy for people to tell their stories and to let everything off their chest. And I love that. I love that whole concept, and that's what I was really interested in. And then
it's such a pity now though that it's suffering as much as it is.
Yeah.
Like it's so sad, because it's I feel like it's clear enough that the arts is important and the industry, it's needed, and you think they would be trying to help us, and it's not happening.
I mean, that's fairly evident with the ballerina photo that's come up recently, the cyber campaign, the Fatima kind of thing. Even though that campaign was from 2019, like it just shows kind of the ignorance even that was present then. Never mind funding, like a lack of human decency, like regarding people working in the arts. Like they're seen as like,
it's seen as a hobby.
I know
it's a hobby and not an actual career.
It's not taken seriously, but like the government, like whenever they were putting that together, number one, they used a photographer's photo. A photographer is an artist. They used a graphic designer to put the words and the text and all on, like and design everything, and they used a ballerina.
Yeah, and they didn't have her permission either to use her photograph. Like they didn't have her permission.
No.
I mean, she's from Vibes and Motion Dance Studio, and they had taken the photo, which was Fatima, because she's not actually called Fatima, on one side, and another ballerina on the right side, and they had edited that out and taken her photo. Do you know what I mean? That they didn't have her permission to use her photograph for this campaign.
I know, and like even though that was from 2019, like the situation literally has not changed. Like even now, there's like theaters, especially here in Northern Ireland, are really, really suffering. Like from my own experience, I know that during like the last kind of maybe from August to September or so, the theater I work in, the Playhouse, we're doing like live stream productions and live performances and stuff. But even now, like theaters can't open to do that kind of stuff. Like that's all been shut down. It's just ridiculous, the lack of funding and regard for artists at the minute.
It's a really scary time, do you know what I mean? Like for the arts. Do you know what I mean? Like, is this the end of theatre? Because theatre relies on funding, it relies on spectators and people purchasing tickets for shows and coming watching the shows. Like it relies on all that to keep going. That's what has kept the theatre industry going.
I think that's what makes theatre so different from film, because when you're in a theatre, you've got that live relationship with between the audience and the audience and the performer, and it's just so more intimate and personal. But I think if they don't get their backsides in gear, like this could, like, it doesn't look good for theatre, like at the minute.
It really doesn't, and that's what I personally love about the theatre too, that the fact that it is so intimate. You know what I mean? Every show is a different performance. You will never go on stage and have the exact same performance as you did the night before. You know, and that's what I love, and it's going off the energy of the audience and the audience reactions to different things, and it just creates that relationship that you don't really get in film.
That's kind of like what, like, kind of, well, for me anyway, kind of inspired me to like think about doing this podcast, because I know like me and you, Shannon, we've always kind of talked about doing a YouTube channel or something in some form. We've been talking about that since we were first year, like, and
first year,
like
I feel like everyone has that dream.
Like even us as a three too, like we've always made work together and like did playmakers together and all that kind of stuff. But then it was just whenever like I seen that the cyber campaign, I was like, no, something needs done about like this. Like I'm not sitting back.
This can't happen.
I know. Like the
We're
arts
also passionate about the theatre, and we can't just sit back and allow this to happen.
but like
you know?
even the arts community in Northern Ireland, like it's such a tight knit group of people, and like it's just ridiculous as this is happening. But I think like if we come together and kind of
Create a
promote
space where
ourselves,
we can all come
exactly,
together too. It's all
exactly,
about creating
like
a space for all
support
artists.
each other, yeah, like not
It's
even
kind of like we're in this together. We're not alone, and
yeah,
it's by fighting those other artists to show that we're not alone. We're in this together.
yeah,
And we all
Yeah.
support each other.
You would just think, you would just think though, throughout the lockdown, like a lot of people, like I mean, if not everyone, most people went and used different sources and used different technologies to watch movies, watch TV soaps, watch even like musicals online. Like, I mean, like you think people would realize, or you would hope, that what we do, like the creative arts people and like people listen to music and everything, like it's important, like
It is
it's so important, and like for so many different reasons. One of my, like, mental health for me would be the main thing. Like it just, like if I go listen to a song or if I go do something creative, like my mind, like mindset just gets completely.
That's the
Go ahead.
importance of it. Like people don't realize the importance of arts and how much it actually helps. Like not even people's like mental health, but it brings communities together. It creates a space where people can, leave everything at the door for a while and come and enjoy a performance or a gig or whatever else, and have a good time and enjoy yourself. And it also makes you think about things as well. If you think the amount of different styles of performances there is, it makes you ask questions that you wouldn't have probably normally asked yourself if you didn't, and it makes people think and get people engaged.
Yeah, you would have thought that people would have had a little bit more respect, or like, would have come to really appreciate the arts people more, but it completely did a U-turn. Like the amount of people that I've had to speak to that came out with comments like, well, go find a real job. It's just so disrespectful. I think it's so, and the fact that our government, or big government in UK, like they went and done that, like
I think the arts is taken
like,
for granted.
it's really
I think it's taken for granted.
completely.
You don't realize the importance of something until it's not there anymore. And I know us, like all working in that industry, like we've all felt the hit of it, and not even just whatever else, like money ways or livelihoods or anything like that. It's just the joy that we get from doing what we do.
Like, see, I'm even less like being in a room with creative people. Like, we were surrounded by creative people for 3 years. Like, we were in a building that had like all the creative courses at McGee in it. Like, you were always with creative people, and like I just miss that kind of buzz and that like nearly like productivity, and just kind of always like coming up with new ideas and just bouncing off other people.
I agree 100%. It's just crazy that this is what it is now. This is where we're at the minute, but I think it's just important that we all try and stay creative in some way. You know what I mean? Whether that's continuing to write, whether it's writing a new piece, a novel, a book, poem, or painting, or whatever else you do. Pick up a guitar. It's just important to still stay creative and still do the thing that you enjoy.
Speaking of people staying creative, there's that new film out. It's a Songbird. It's a new film. It's the trailer kind of. I found it on Twitter anyway. It's a film, kind of like COVID, and like,
is it like a dystopian reality?
Like if COVID doesn't go away.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah.
What our realities could be.
It was actually criticized and called exploitation cinema by Adrian Horton. Found that online. Yeah, so exploitation cinema. But I think it's interesting because while that mightn't be like a topic that everybody might want to sit down and watch and listen to, and it could be very damaging for people's mental health, you kind of have to weigh it up, because those artists also had like an opportunity to come together and work during this, obviously, to create that.
Yeah.
For the artist creating it probably benefited their mental health doing something like productive and what they want to do, and like working again.
The way I see it is like there's a lot of dodgy things that have been made throughout our life, like movies, TV soaps, a lot of dodgy things touching a lot of sensitive topics, Like, you know, I feel like it's art. That's the message they wanted to put across. It should, you know, you don't have to enjoy it, but respect it. You know.
Yeah, no, I
You know,
agree.
like
I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like, you know, you kind of gotta take the good with the bad. You know, like he said, that was an opportunity for people to come in, artists to come in, be creative. And even though the topic is quite a sensitive topic, but there's a like you said, Shauna, there's a lot of films and theatre pieces and that's around sensitive topics, but nothing's really said about it
I
because
suppose
it's happening right now. That's why people are like, nah, like don't want to be reminded of this.
That's what I was going to say. I suppose whenever you think about it, like Shauna, me and you have worked on like a lot of like Troubles-based theatre, and for people that love to the Troubles, like that's like this is probably their equivalent. Like they're big of that during that, I suppose. But I suppose Troubles theatre's a bit further removed because the Troubles were like a few years back, and this is kind of more current and like contemporary issue.
Yeah.
You'll still get mixed reviews and everything, you know, like Caoimhe, we did like a lot of pieces, you know, conflict pieces based on the Troubles, and we got mixed reviews. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has an opinion on things, and I understand why people would not want to be reminded of this and not want to go see a film about this. But you gotta look at the positive side as well, where people got to come together, be creative, and you gotta respect their art, you know? But I don't saying that I don't know if I'll go and watch it. And I don't think I'll go watch it because I don't know reminded of what reality could be. But
I know.
I gotta respect it.
Definitely. We're talking about people coming together. A few people have written on to our Instagram asking us a few questions, and I think it'd be good if we answered some of them if you are up for it.
Yeah.
Welcome to our Q&A section where we'll be answering some questions sent in from a few people on our Instagram and our Facebook page. Kiva, you want to start it off for me, please?
Yes. So we kind of had two questions that were, I suppose, kind of similar, so we can just answer them together. One was, if the pandemic continues for another year, how will we still be involved in the arts? And the other one was from Rebecca, and she said, what do you do when you feel like you can't get a job in the arts? Boo 2020, boo. Thumbs down for 2020 there, like.
Thumbs down for 2020. We're really just doing what we're doing now, you know, like creating work for ourselves if we can't find work because of all this going on, just kind of create it for ourselves and like doing things like this and creating a space where artists can come together and promote their work and just trying to stay creative where you can, you know what I mean? Like whether that's you working from home, writing a piece, or even filming a piece from home, or painting, picking up a guitar, any musical instrument, or even singing, you know, it's just staying creative and continuing to do what you love to do and creating work for yourself, you know?
I suppose we've been working in this new way since kind of the end of our degree because we couldn't do any live performances and everything was moved online, so we had to film performances and edit them, and I ended up editing all the performances, all the performances I was involved with anyway. So I suppose we've been working in this new way now for a while, so I mean if it continues on, I feel like I kind of have the skills to make it work, if you know what I mean. And through the lockdown as well, I took part in like a few of the Reimagine, Remake, Replay workshops and classes in the Nerve Centre. So I did a few different ones. I did one about like zine making and storytelling, and I did a 2D animation one, and I did like a sound editing archives one. So I feel like they've really like enhanced my skills, especially because they were delivered like through Zoom and in the new kind of digital way. I suppose they've kind of given me the skills to be able to like transfer onto this project now. But yeah, I think really just staying creative in whatever way possible or whatever medium possible is really important.
100%.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the best things about drama and creative arts in general is just that you always have access to things that allow you to be creative. Like Shannon said, if it's painting, whatever it is, like it's all there for us to access. Everyone can do it, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be the best thing ever. Like, you know, it could be you writing for the very first time. As long as you keep practicing your skills and don't ever stop creating if that's what you love to do, because I know the pandemic, it sucks, it's not ideal, but just because this is happening so much to stop doesn't mean we have to stop. You know, we can always keep creating, we can always keep making new things. We just got to find different ways to do it, you know.
I think that's a really important note, because creative people and creatives will always be needed, and like the arts, like I think it's really important for people to know how valued the arts are, like, and should be, rightly so. Even if some people disagree, but no, I think like just stay creative and we'll get through this, like, and creatives will be needed no matter what situation we're in.
No matter what, you know.
And then the next few questions are also kind of similar, so I think we'll just answer them all together as well. So the first one is, why the arts? So why did we choose to get involved in the arts? Why did we want to do a drama degree? And where do we hope to be in 5 years? It's kind of all the big questions.
The big questions all at once. All together.
Hitting you with them.
Just hit me with them.
Yeah, these are questions that I like to avoid. Like the aunts and the uncles ask these questions.
Turn the other way. Just divert.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, like, I suppose for me, I've always loved performing, you know, and it's whenever I had my first drama class at school, you know, shout out to Suzanne and Myra, my drama teachers. I was always very shy, always very quiet, didn't really have a voice, or I did have a voice, but just didn't know where to use it. And me,
no problem now.
Oh wow, thank you, Shauna.
Sorry.
Thank you. Well, yeah, it was really just using drama as a tool to use my voice, and I think I found it comforting that I was able to step out of, you know, my own shoes and into somebody else's shoes. I think that's what allowed me to have a voice. It's like, I'm not going to, you know, be judged or anything for what I'm saying here, because I'm playing a character. So it's like you can use your voice in that way. And as like a child, I always found that really comforting, and it was like a big release where I could go out on stage and be whatever I wanted to be. There was no limitations. So yeah, I think for me that's why I've always loved drama and wanted to continue that, you know, at university. And I knew that was the one path that I wanted to go down, you know. That was the one path I've always wanted to go down, and that's why I decided to do my degree in drama.
Yeah. It's the same really for myself. I think from school and like all that there, like everyone seemed to have that one thing that they were good at, and I wasn't really into science or maths, any of those really intellectual and theory based subjects, but drama was that one thing that it was just, I didn't need to think about it, you know. It was just I was there, you know, and I would be in class and I would be shy as well, and I didn't really have that many friends, and it was just, but it didn't matter. Like, I go into drama and, you know, perform a character, and that was just it, you know. Never had to think twice about it. So yeah, like, you know, it's just, I think I have so much respect and love for it, and I think it's a subject that needs more respect and acknowledgement, because it could be used to help so many different people, and it has helped so many already. It just needs that little bit more. People need to talk about it more, and I think that's so great that we're able to do this in this podcast. You know,
for me, it's obviously probably very similar, but I've always been involved in the arts. Like, I took my first dance class whenever I was 3 years old. And I've been involved with the arts ever since, really, in one way or another. Like, I danced from I was 3 until I was about 10, and then whenever I was about 10, I started drama classes in my school. It was Mary Duddy who came in to take them, and she really brought me out of my shell. Like, I would not have said boo to a fly, like, I wouldn't have spoke to anybody, and within those 2 years she had me like performing Scrooge and A Christmas Carol my like whole school, and like that, like
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy. And then I continued on with her then, like throughout my whole secondary school kind of time.
Yeah.
And I also went back to dancing when I was about 15, 16. I went to Fireworks DDTA here in Derry, and they're also in Belfast now too. But I just really loved, what I loved about that school was there's no pressure for grades and exams, and it's about really like enjoying dancing for dancing. And
Yeah.
I found that really comforting, and I didn't have the best experience in secondary school, so I really loved like getting to my dance classes and my drama classes then during the week. Like it kind of broke the week up for me, and I kind of got to do what I enjoyed and kind of just have that wee bit of freedom in the evenings, because like going to a grammar school, like your evenings are literally full of work and sitting writing and theory, and it just gave me something else to do and another focus and a way to kind of like just be me and express myself. I don't think any of us have addressed the big question in that, which is where do we hope to be in 5 years' time?
Where do we hope to be? That's a good question. Really employed.
For me, I want to be on an island, drinking tequila, preferably in Ibiza.
Of course. Wouldn't expect anything less from me.
That'll be Shauna in her natural habitat, just sitting on a beach somewhere with a cocktail.
I know.
No, honestly, I don't like thinking years ahead. That's not really for me. I think I will just live in the present, because things are so uncertain, as we all know. We never thought 2020 was going to be the year the pandemic hit. We thought 2020 was going to be the year everybody got their dreams, you know. So yeah. So I don't like looking 5 years ahead. I think just live in the moment, and as soon as I find out where I am in 5 years' time, I'll let you know.
Send us a postcard.
Yeah, I will, from Ibiza.
I'll be waiting on it.
I wish I could have that outlook though, where, you know, I could just live in the present and not, you know, worry about the future, but I have too much anxiety for that. It's such a plan.
Yeah.
I hope whatever I'm doing, I'm happy doing it. I hope that I'm happy in whatever job I'm in, and that I'm still performing, still being creative in one way or another, you know, whatever path that may be, you know, whether it's performing, whether it's facilitating, whether it's directing, or whatever else it is, just being creative, you know, that's my main goal. I'm in a job that I love, and I get to do what I get to be passionate about what I do. That's my main goal.
Well, I'm doing my master's at the minute in like peace and conflict studies, and I never seen myself doing that, you know, to be honest, but I don't know, like I don't really have any plans. Like I love like the idea of working with people who've like been through conflict but using drama and that kind of stuff, but I also love like the practical side of the stage managing and directing and writing and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really know where I'll be in 5 years' time or what I hope to be doing, but I think it's good to not limit yourself in that kind of a way either, because that's what I did whenever I started uni. Like I was like, I want to act, like acting is what I want to do, and I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. But I kind of opened myself up a bit more then, and I kind of found a love for things that I didn't even know really existed, to be honest. I was really interested, and like I think just that openness to kind of see what comes and what happens is really important in this industry, because the more skills you have, the more employable kind of you are, and the more you can help yourself, I suppose. Yeah,
definitely. That's like one thing I would advise people who's listening. Like if drama is your thing, if you want to act, you know, definitely never say no to things. If things it might not be acting, but if there's something else that you want to do, say yes. Always say yes. Learn new skills. Like the more skills you have in this industry in particular, the better. The more employable you are. You know what I mean? And like if you have that drive and that motivation to work, then this industry it'll work out for you in the long run. You know.
One thing I remember
when
we started our degree was we were told that it's 20% talent and 80% showing up and like getting on with things.
Doing
it, like, so I think that's really important to remember.
And like be confident as well, you know, put yourself out there and push yourself out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like be confident to say yes to different opportunities and to try different things, because like you, Kiva, you thought you were wanting to go in and you wanted to act and that was it. And if you hadn't have, you know, went into stage managing and explored that, or directing, you know, and like have the confidence to do that, you wouldn't have known that you actually really enjoy it.
I know.
And it's something that you love and that you're passionate about as well. So it's being confident and putting yourself out of your comfort zone to try different things, because you never know what you might actually enjoy, what you might actually really excel in, and you know what I mean? Just trying different things.
Well, that's all our questions for this week. So back over to you, Shauna.
Wow, that's great. Well, I just want to say thank you for everyone that sent in their questions. We had a lot of fun answering them. Mostly me, I had a lot of anxiety and rethinking my life. No joking. Yeah. Again, if anyone's listening and you guys have questions that you want to answer, want us to answer even, feel free to ask away in any of our social media accounts. We'll be happy to answer them for you. Try to be nice, please. No more hard-hitting questions. We've had enough.
No 5-year plans.
No 5-year plans.
No 5-year plans, please. No. The amount of times I've answered that question for people. Yeah. So again, thank you so much. Yeah, so I think it'd be great if we could then maybe explain to the people who are listening what we're about and what we're really hoping to achieve from this podcast and basically in the future, really. Personally, for me, I kind of done the podcast just to really do something different from my normal routine, to get to work together with these two lovely ladies, and just just be creative again and have interesting topics. And it's not going to be the same. We're not going to be able to do performances together, but this is the closest thing, and I don't think it's too bad, you know. So
yeah, I mean,
so far so good.
So far so good. I just think it was important to create a space, like we said earlier, for artists to support each other, and that's why I really wanted to jump on the bandwagon of the podcast, because, you know, obviously getting to work with you two guys again, and it's nice to all three of us can come together virtually, maybe virtually, but still coming together to work together, and just to have a platform where artists can come on and support each other and get to show their work and to show that, like, you know, there's still artists out there, and even though, you know, we may not be able to do exactly what we want to do work wise, but we're still being creative and we're all coming together. You know, that's really one of the main reasons why I wanted to do the podcast as well.
So I think for me it was just it was really just like the idea kind of came out of like nearly like anger, and I was just like, no, I'm not taking this, like the creative community deserves to be treated better than this. Like, this is not acceptable. So again, kind of similar to what you just said, I just want to like give artists that place to come and talk. And like there's so much that goes on as well, like within the arts community. So I just want people to be able to like share their work and talk about what's going on and like their experiences and all that kind of stuff. Like
definitely.
So I just
definitely
talk about current issues and like give people a platform, really.
Like the more awareness we can bring to the arts and the struggles, and not even just the struggles, but just how great the arts are, the better, I think, you know.
Yeah,
I agree.
So what do you kind of hope to achieve, like, in your own personal lives in the future? Like, what do you want to do?
Life. Where do I want to be?
Life? That big question.
Serious adult questions here.
Well, for me, I just hope
the question we avoid.
For me, I just hope to continue to perform and to get more opportunities where I'm able to perform, you know, whether that's in theatre or film, or just a chance to be creative, you know, and just do what I love to do. Hopefully that is where my career goes and what I will be doing. But apart from that as well, like I love like I was saying earlier on, I've loved like performance and conflict transformation, using theatre as a tool for therapy and stuff. So there's things like theatre of witness, you know, where people come together and can tell stories and stuff, and they have a facilitator there to obviously guide them through the process. And I think I would love to do something like that one day, maybe, you know, facilitate a process like that. So
Cool.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. For me, a bit like Hannah Montana, I want the best of both worlds. I want to teach and I want to perform. That's my goal. So I haven't really decided between. Like, honestly, my dream would be to perform. My dream would be to be an actress and do everything. Go on shows, theater shows, musicals, the whole thing, TV shows, everything. But if I'm going to be realistic, that's a very that might not happen. So teaching, not that it's my backup, kind of a backup. No, joke. Like teaching is something I've thought about since I was 16 years of age, and like I see working with kids is not work to me. It's like I'm a big kid myself, to be honest.
I can confirm.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys can back that up.
Get right for that.
Yeah. Like, see, just working with kids, especially when you apply drama into their teachings, it's so interesting to watch because they're learning in such a different way. It's more active, and like for me personally, my own opinion, I think they pay way more attention to you because you know, they have to use their own creative minds, so then you actually know they're understanding what you're teaching them. And like, it's a chance for them to be active and feel involved in what you're teaching instead of just sitting in a classroom and reading from a textbook about A, B, and C. You know, this actually gets them up and talk about it. So yeah, that would be really teaching and performing is my goal in life. I don't think it's a bad one.
It's not a bad one at all.
No, you can do it if you put your mind at, like, but
exactly.
Similar to Shannon, I'm really interested in like conflict transformation, and like how that relates to drama, especially like in a Northern Irish context. So, but I also love like practical, like getting into the studio, doing stuff like that. So I don't know, I suppose I just want to see where life kind of takes me. I don't really know, to be honest. It's
just go with the flow.
Like, that's the way I kind of was through my degree too. But like, I did so many things and just enjoyed them, and like I never really narrowed myself down to anything, and I kind of found a path through that. So I'm just kind of hoping that it stays the same with life in general.
I think it's important not to limit yourself, though. You know what I mean? Because the art is so broad. Just go with the flow of things, and you never know like what you might try that you'll enjoy.
That's what I was going to say.
You
like,
know?
I feel
like, with how my like degree went, like, because I did go in with that attitude and I just wanted to act and I didn't want to do anything else, and then it was just kind of by chance really that I kind of was like, right, no, I want to like learn as much as I can, and it just kind of happened. I didn't really plan to be like, I want to do everything. It just kind of fell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's just what happened.
Like what I really admire from you, Caoimhe, is that like I feel like you literally didn't say no to anything. You know, like for myself speaking, I feel like there's some things where I was like my anxiety would just get the best of me, and my nerves would get the best of me, so I would say no. And but I feel like you just give everything a shot,
I mean,
which I really admire. I think that's the best way to do life.
I think,
it's just to give everything a go.
Just to go for
you don't know until you try.
But like from that experience, I also know that sometimes you have to say no or you will burn yourself out. You have to know your limits. Like
everything in moderation.
Accept everything you can, but don't go beyond your capabilities, or you will be lying in bed for a week sick.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. Well, like I feel like other people will know their limits. Caoimhe.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you think you're a superhero. Yeah. Well, my eyes, you are, of course. It's just crazy that 3 years just gone by though. Like we started first year 18, most of us were 18, weren't we? So like That's just mad. It's mad.
See, even to think, like, we've worked together in so many different capacities and ways, like, throughout uni, but this is our first time, like, doing something out in the big bad world, like, together. Like, it's mad.
That's scary, isn't it? It's scary.
Like, doing everything else, like, this is all on us, like, this is, like, do you know what I mean? It's so different, like,
scary but exciting.
I know, like I definitely
it is so exciting.
Yeah, we all know we can rely on each other. We all know what we want. Like, you know, there's no pussyfooting around each other. So, like, you know, we say how we feel, and nobody gets really hurt most times, anyway. So that's what I love about this. Like, you know, Playmakers, you're kind of working with your, not even just our year group, but like all 3 year groups, you know. So it can be difficult, but though I enjoyed it. Oh, in case people, our listeners, if you're wondering what Playmakers is,
I was going to say, I think we should introduce what Playmakers is.
Yeah. Caoimhe, do you want to explain?
Well, I suppose Playmakers is just, I wrote this in my bio. I'm gonna repeat myself, but Playmakers was basically, it kind of came about whenever we were in first year, but it just kind of happened that we were putting, me, Shannon and Molly and a few others kind of came together to put on a piece. Molly's a writer from our class. All just kind of came together to put on a piece, and there were a few people in the third year whenever we were in first year that were also working on pieces, so we just kind of came together and we're like, let's do an event. And of course, like, this was supported by the uni, and especially shout out to Adrian O'Connell. He like basically started everything, like tech, everything, so he kind of pulled it all together, if you know what I mean. But it was student led
every time.
I mean, it always worked out in the end, like.
Yeah, it definitely did. It was probably the main thing I loved, even though I wasn't in the first one, because I was a bit of a mess before I met these two girls. Didn't really only really cared about going out and drinking. Still do. But yeah. But honestly, Playmakers was what made university for me. One of the things, not just it, but one of the things that made it so exciting, you know, because you got to be that little bit more creative and like productive. You actually got to put on shows, and you got to write your own shows and bring it to life, and it was just great, wasn't it?
I just feel like Playmakers really made up most of, you know, my uni experience. You know, it was great to get into a room with creative people, and I just love there was no limitation. You could literally go into that studio and you could create any piece you want. It didn't have to be in a certain topic, in a certain state. It could be anything. And it was just bouncing off people, and it was just a bit of crack as well. Do you know what I mean?
I think that the way that, like, it wasn't specific to one year, but it kind of combined all years, and even like the master's course, it really like kind of brought us together. Speaking from my experience anyway, a group of the third years then actually asked me to like stage manage one of their final pieces and stuff like that. Like, it just kind of brought everybody like that closer together and felt more like a community kind of.
Yeah, it really was.
I feel in terms of confidence, we all like it all. Like, me personally, like, my confidence just completely grew from that. So I think we all kind of, that was the start of us becoming like professional, creative people, you know. So like, I think that was nice, like, you know, looking back on it all. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so that's crazy. That's kind of just flew by there.
It actually went so quick.
It really did.
Didn't it? I don't think we did too bad.
Well,
I suppose that's not up to us to decide. But I just want to thank our listeners. It's great that you have tuned in, and hopefully you've enjoyed listening to us as much as we've enjoyed talking. So and you've learned a little bit about us and what we're all about. And again, if you guys would add us on our Instagram and Facebook page at the Art of Talking Podcast, links will be in the description below. So thank you so much. And if you want to tell your friends, family about us, get them to join in, and we would be really thankful. All right. So unfortunately, that's all we've got for today. Until next time.